All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson going into how the red pill community, right, that so-called red pill community, because it's not truly enlightened, because here it is, a lot of these people have came across the truth of the Bible, but some of them want to still try and use the Bible in such a way to where they can get money at the same time and still be worldly with it. You know, they want to still be able to be worldly and get money, and not have to really express and say what they really think. You know, it's a video about these people, about how this world is on the whole red pill community, and how the majority of these red pill people are Israelites, man, and how the world follows after them, man. So it's a pretty much a lesson going into how this world, without even knowing it, is seeking for the Israelites to rule over them. All right. Now, let me go to Romans the 8th chapter. Romans chapter 8 and verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. And that goes for the whole world, man. Where we as Israelites, we're waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God, which really is for the manifestation of us being changed, right? But the rest of the world is also waiting for that. And that's why they're always hoping that the newest prime minister is going to somehow break the wheel of wickedness that this world is rolling around with, right? Or they're hoping that the next president of America is going to somehow make a change and make a way for everyone to have equal things all the time. And then especially you Israelites, you always get bamboozled, man. You were singing the most for Trump, screaming, ranting and raving, spitting bars, having Cardi B be promoting him and all of that. But look at it now. And then before that, you was rioting and ranting and raving about Trump. Then before that, you was being all upon some Barack Obama. And before that, you had another person. And you always had a person that you was trying to pull out the woodwork, wanting to try and be like, oh, this person's going to save it. We need a change. We need or this person's not doing it right. So we need another person, as if the whole system is not wicked. It's the whole thing that's wicked, man. It's not no one particular person. It's the whole thing, Esau ruling in general. That is a problem. The earth being given into the hand of the wicked is what's the problem, right? Job chapter 9 and verse 24. For the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Let me read it again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's in charge right now? The so-called Caucasian race, man, who are really the Edomites of the Bible. And people can say they're not the Edomites, right? But even the main complaints that you Caucasian people have to complain about how the earth is running right now, is caused by people that look like you. It's not caused by people that look like us. So you people really, to put it in some plain terms, should just shut the fuck up. Because you're the ones ruining the earth, not us. And you can try and complain about some gang banging, this guy's selling drugs and shooting at this guy, there's some knife crime. That don't affect you. And we can complain about knife crime all day. But I guarantee more people died in that Ukraine and Russian war that's been taking place right now than have died from the past 10 years of knife crimes. So don't try it, man. Don't try it. You people are the ones that are causing all the ruckus around here, not us. You people are the reason why it's going to soon cost might soon in the next couple of months cost £3 a litre for petrol in the UK. Why it's going to eventually cost $10 a gallon over in the US. And why many other places are going to be having to have blackouts. Not us. We're not the reasons for that. You are. Right? You people are the reason for that. You people are the reason why $1 in 1 year can buy you a certain amount of things, and then the next year it can't, because you are the people that are making false balances, which are an abomination to the Lord, man. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord. A false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. So these people, they want to be in charge and they want to try and get the praise and they want to be having everyone blessing them up, but they don't want to take the blame. Here it is, they want to try and say that we haven't did nothing in life, but then at the same time they want to try and say that Dave did everything. So then you also had a reason to be blaming, not us, because you're in power. You make the laws that this world is governed by, not us. Because we want to follow Yahweh's laws, but you people are saying that Yahweh's laws are not the right way. So then when we look at your way, that should be how the world is being governed. And when we look at your way, we see that, no, that's not causing it to happen, right? I did a quick little Google search. I ain't necessarily going to call it research. I did a little Google search about 2 days ago to see how many Christians there's supposed to be worldwide. And it said that there's 2.38 billion people that follow some form of Christianity. But when I look out in the world, I don't see no place that I would say is following Bible ways, which goes to show that this Christianity that people that are following is a pile of BS. Because if it was any good, then the world would be righteous in some places that you'd look. But as far as I can see, the world's wicked, right? The world ain't following nothing righteous around here, man. There's a whole bunch of BS going on. And that's why when people when everything's said and done, and Yahweh causes for all the prophecies to come to pass, and there's a certain race of people that are going to be on the bottom of ships, right? That once upon a time had another race of people at the bottom of ships. We ain't going to care for that. We ain't going to care when you're crying. You ain't going to get the chance to speak to the manager, right? There ain't going to be no more Starbucks. There's not going to be no more lattes, right? There's not going to be no more brunch. There's not going to be no more eating oysters. None of that around here, man. Now, I've said all of that, but I'm going to say this. These people try and make out like they hate the Israelites so much and that they hate so-called black people so much and that we're such dummies. But when you look out into the world, who's the one that they're always following? Who's the one that they're always changing their ways for to try and dress like, man? It's us. And people can say, oh, but you use the technology, this and that. A lot of that ain't even just been made by y'all. A lot of that ain't even just been made by you people, man. And secretly, there's a lot of our people that are up in that. But they don't get put out in the front of the promotion because they don't want to try and make out like we do anything. They want to try and still keep the lie going that we ain't got no skills. When the scriptures say the poor man is honored for his skill and the rich man is honored for his riches. So I'm going to believe the scriptures before I believe what Esau's got to say. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 30. The poor man is honored for his skill and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? And Esau is very dishonorable in riches. He ain't got no honor in riches. And that's another scripture to prove that when everything goes crazy, man, right? Esau is going to really be a complete scumbag out here, man. Esau is going to be throwing Molotovs at houses. Esau is going to be running up in houses, right? Sometimes he's going to win and sometimes he's going to get murked off, man. Because he's going to pick the wrong house. He's going to think that he's found a prey. But really, he's going to be the prey in that day. In a lot of these situations, man. You Edomites have been trying to bully the earth so much to where you're going to awake Yahweh Shai from off his throne, man. You're gonna make Yahweh tell Yahweh Shai, you know what? Go and get them. Go and get the elect. And Yahweh Shai is going to be much obliged to show up to do that. Because he's been wanting to get you for what you did to him. Never mind for what you did to us. And he's going to show himself to the world, man. And ain't going to be no one to stand in that day. Who is this that coming from Edom? Who is it that comes from Edom with dyed garments? His garments are going to be red, man. With the hemoglobin of you red devils. White blood cell. Red blood cell. All of it's going to be on his garments, man. Because he's going to be spilling it, man. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So don't complain. You ain't got nothing to say. when this kingdom gets translated from one people's hands to another's. Because this, like, let's just use one thing. I didn't plan on making the lesson be about something else, right? About the red pill community and about how people try and make out like, you know, I'll make the point now. People try and make out like they don't care about what we've got to say. But when you look up these red pill community people, right? You look up the Kevin Samuels, you look at the Fresh and Fit, you look at the AMS, you look at the mediocre tutorials and reviews, right? Even people like Abram Preach, they speak about certain things about how they think the world should go as well, right? And they have millions of subscribers and stuff like that. And most of those people that you see commenting on the videos a lot of the time are not Israelites. They're heathens, right? So this world tries to make out like they ain't about it and they ain't trying to follow us and stuff like that. Most of the people that you see when you go to these rap concerts, they're Edomites, man. So even in the wicked philosophies that Israelites come up with, right? That a 2/3 son of Bilial will come up with, man. A wicked Israelite. Even in the wicked philosophies that they come up with, the heathen have got itching ears and want to be about it, man. They want to turn their cap backwards. You have these Edomites that want to wear a red, yellow, and green string vest on a carnival, right? They want to come up to you, yeah, fam, wag one, fam. They want to come and try and talk all like that. They want to try and be all up around you. They want to try and talk to you about sports. They want to be fans of Anthony Joshua. They want to wear the LeBron James jersey. They want to wear the Steph Curry jersey and try and hit the three-pointer and then look away like him. But then they try and make out like they don't worship us. They worship us anyway. They worship us anyway, man. They be wishing that they could jump as high. They be wishing that they could do all the things that we do. But the only reason why anybody tries to copy what Esau does is because really, they just want the money. The reason why these crazy Eves are wearing weave in their hair and putting a blonde hair in is because they're hoping that they can get treated fairly, like what an Edomite woman gets treated like. It's not even necessarily because they want to look like an Edomite woman. It's because they think if they wear that blonde piece of shit in their hair, right? And I've got to talk like this, man. If they wear that stupid blonde weave in their hair, man, that's going to make them get treated nicely. And it's not. Because they still know that it's an Israelite. But then at the same time, they're trying to worship us. They want to be wearing jerseys. They want to be coming to the boxing match, screaming. And then if they think that it's possible for them to have the same skill, then they'll try and turn against, like with Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder. Nobody cared about Tyson Fury's career until he beat Deontay Wilder. They didn't care when he beat Vladimir Klitschko, who's probably an Israelite anyway. But as soon as he beat Deontay Wilder, then they cared and took notice. But Tyson Fury is an Israelite anyway. Just like how you've got this other guy, Andrew Tate, right? Or you've got all these Edomites and all these other heathens that be following him around, calling him Top G and all that. He's running around, driving around in Dubai with the Bugatti, right? But he's an Israelite. But these people, because they're carnal, they don't know nothing about that. They'll try and say some mixed race stuff, and some of them won't even know what his father looks like. And they'll think that he's just a Caucasian guy, or that he might be some Indian, some shit, right? But he's an Israelite, though. So when they're running around trying to copy his philosophies, joining Hustlers University, they're making an Israelite be in charge of them, and in charge of their life, and in charge of their ways, man. And they're secretly desiring for an Israelite to be in charge. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. So you've got all these Edomites that are running around joining this guy's group, but really, they're trying to follow after Israelites, him and his brother. They're trying to follow after Israelites that might look like heathens, but they're still Israelites though, because your lineage is decided by what your father is, not by your mother. With this whole Kevin Samuels, you had all these people that was running around after him, copying his philosophies, saying, "Oh, he's the head of the red pill community and all of that," right? They was trying to make him be their leader, and then he passed away. He died, right? And then the people started losing their mind. RIPs. People was getting tattoos of him, which I ain't saying I still know heathens get a tattoo, but people are still getting their tattoos of him, man. Fresh and Fit. You have all these Edomite dweebs calling in, trying to ask about how to get girls, right? Which there ain't nothing wrong with asking for advice, but these people that secretly, well, openly, they've designed for Israelites to be in charge of their life and give them advice, man, because they know that we're going to give real advice, whereas they know that Esau is full of shit, man. They'll be having all these different people coming onto the show. But then at the same time, the world wants to try and make out like they're not about us, man. And these people are low level in the grand scheme of things. All this red pill stuff, it's low level, man. There's people that are on the earth right now that some people don't even know who their names are, man. They don't even know who their names are, but they're gonna be in charge. The apostles. There's the apostles of Great Millstone. People don't even know who they are, right? Or they secretly know who they are, but they're like, but these men don't look rich to me, so I'm not gonna listen to what they've got to say properly because they don't look rich to me. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So people already look at Israelites' lives right now, and they wish that they could be doing it as well, right? Here it is, Esau is the richest person in the world, but the way how people want to be trying to copy and how they spend their money will be like how a Floyd Mayweather spends his money, or be how like a Andrew Tate spends his money. They'll be flying around, they'll be going to the parties, they'll be going dancing around with all the honeys, you know, or how them fresh and fit cats be spending their money. They like seeing the vlogs and all that. They see how they're rolling around with the women. They want to try and copy how an Israelite got to spend his money, because an Edomite, no matter how much money he's got, he's still dry as hell. He ain't got no salt, man. He ain't got no flavor. They make Israelite can make 50,000 look like a damn 500,000 with how they can make themselves look. Whereas an Edomite can have 1,000,000 and still look whack as hell. And it's not about boasting and flexing on appearances. But I'm making the point that an Israelite can do a lot with a little. Whereas an Edomite can't really do a little with a lot. He's got this whole abundance of wealth, and he still just looks like a complete asshole, man. Isaiah 2 and verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And I want to make another point. Even this guy, Conor McGregor, you got a lot of these Caucasians running around trying to copy what Conor McGregor does, and that thinking that Conor McGregor is just some normal Caucasian guy. Conor McGregor's an Israelite, man. You can clearly tell that he's an Israelite, right? But you have these Edomites getting gassed up, thinking that he's one of them, and he's not even. He's not even one of them. And then when they try and copy the walk, they try and copy the swag, it just looks stupid on them, because it's not. It's about the spirit, man, and they ain't got the spirit of one of the sons of God. They ain't got it, man. And that ain't no thing that I'm saying that you can spiritually be no Israelite. You have to literally be one. And have the righteous spirit with you. Because these guys that I'm mentioning, I'm not trying to make out like these people are righteous or trying to say that they're members of the elect or nothing like that. Because they ain't about the scriptures. They ain't proclaiming the name of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. They might say God, they might say Lord, they might say some Jesus, but they ain't going to say Yahweh. And they ain't going to say Yahushai because they've already made their deals with Esau. They've already gave up their right to try and claim this. They don't want to try and turn back and see if they can get if there's anything that Yahweh is offering to them. Mark chapter 8 and verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? And there ain't nothing that can be given in exchange. You're gonna get some money, but now you've gave up your chance to receive salvation. What was the point of that? Let me get this. Because once the Israelites of the elect are changed, man, and glorified, this world ain't gonna be saying nothing to us if we're of those people. And by us, I mean the Israelite nation in general. Once they see Yahushua come out of the heavens, they ain't gonna have nothing to say, man. And people might laugh and think that that's funny right now, but when it happens, they're not gonna find it as funny. When hyperinflation comes, and they go to the shop to buy a tin of beans and it costs £6, right? And then they go to buy a gallon, buy 2 litres of milk or 2 pints of milk, or whatever, and it costs £10. They're not gonna find things as funny so much. When it costs them £1,000 to drive for the week, then it's not gonna be as funny anymore. When it costs £1,000 to get to work in the morning, things are not gonna be funny then. when they have to literally decide on whether they're gonna buy some water, or buy some food, or buy some fuel, or buy some food, or pay their rent, or buy some food. They ain't prepared to be pilgrims on the earth. They ain't prepared for that, man. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. So that's what we're really supposed to get glory in, right? We're really supposed to be able to show ourselves different to the rest of the world, right? We're supposed to be able to deal among each other in a righteous way, to where people, when they see it, they're like, wow. But as it stands right now, we're getting praise for other things that we possess. But the most beautiful thing that we was given as Israelites is the sacrifice for sins. And then on another note, it was then that we're going to be getting a new covenant, right? And then on another note, is that after, I can't even say that, because the new covenant is that we get given the laws. So let me say it again, the most beautiful thing that we got given as Israelites was the sacrifice for sins. And then the second most beautiful thing was that we was given the new covenant, because that's going to make us continually be able to receive the blessings of the Bible in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, verse 1 to verse 14, where no other nation been promised that. Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And how are all these nations going to hear the statutes and hear the judgments? How are they going to hear it? Because when we're in charge, when we get changed, we're going to be in charge of the world, and we're going to make them follow it. But they ain't ever going to be able to follow it like us. So we're just going to naturally be like, I'm not eating pork. I know when the Sabbath is. I know when this holy day is. I know when the Day of Atonement is. Right? I know that this woman's not pregnant. This woman's not betrothed. I know that woman is betrothed. I know how to keep it. I can do this. And I'm not going to have to tell no other Israelite to do it, because he knows as well. Because he's also under the new covenant, which is mentioned in Hebrews the 8th chapter. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I have set before you this day? And they ain't no nation. Right now even. These people have got billions, they've making whole new cities and that, right? When they made Dubai, they never said, you know what, let's make Dubai and rule it with the laws of the Bible. They never said that. But then I guarantee some of these Muslims that are in Dubai would say, we follow Torah. Well, you don't follow the laws in it, do you? So which bit do you follow? Because it sounds like you're following it with your mouth rather than with actions. And Yahweh don't care nothing about that. He don't care about some lip service, man. He cares about people actually doing it for real, man. There's a lot of these Christians saying that they're about the Bible, but they're not about it, man. They're not about the Bible. And Yahweh knows that they're not about it. He knows that they're full of it, really. Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 35. Or when was it that day which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? None of these other nations ain't thinking about God's laws. They always got an excuse. They'll try and say that we have the same God as them, right? But then if you ask what their God's name is, they'll say one name. And if you ask what our God's name is, they'll say another name. Well, we'll say another name. Then if you say to them, okay, does your God say that you can eat this? They'll say, yeah. Well, our God don't, so it's not the same God. Leave us alone, man. We don't want to build nothing with you. Just like in the ancient past, right? We didn't want to make you help. We didn't want you to help us build a temple. We don't want you to help us build this, man. So you stay with your book and your belief. Leave the Bible alone. Don't try and use the Bible to try and justify what you believe in. Just if your thing's the truth, it will be able to stand alone, separate from the Bible. So you don't need to try and say that the Bible's been changed. You don't need to try and come up with none of this. You don't need to try and be hypocrites and say, oh, the Bible's been changed, but this book that we've translated into English hasn't been changed. And then at the same time have a translation in English. But then when somebody tries to bring something out of it, you say, but you have to read it in Arabic. So your God is not strong enough to be able to make a person receive salvation if they can't relearn a whole language. You have to learn a whole nother language to be able to receive salvation under what you're talking about. You don't just have to know the Hebrew name. You don't just have to know the name of that particular language of what the God's called. You know, like they're full of it, man. This world's full of it, man. Second chapter 3 and verse 35. When was it that David dwelt upon the earth, have not sinned in thy sight, or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. So despite all the talk that these people want to say, you got all these people that are following the doctrine of Christianity, 2.38 billion, but they ain't keeping the commandments, they ain't keeping the precepts. They're making lies about the Bible. They're blatantly lying, man. They're blatantly reading something that it says in there, and then they'll just say, oh, that bit's, even though it says it's Israel, that bit's talking about Gentiles. Huh? How can that be? It will literally say Israel, or it will say Jacob, and then they'll just try and do some transracial shit. You know what I mean? Like, these people are wicked, man. I just gotta say it like that, man. These people are very evil, man. These Christians are very, very, like, slimy people, man. They're literally so blind, and they care about the doctrine of Christianity so much that they're prepared to lie about the words that they're literally reading in front of them. They'll actually be prepared to lie and say that the 144,000 are heathens. They'll be prepared to change their doctrine that they've been taught for the last 20 years on the spot, just to make us not seem like we're telling the truth. They'll be prepared to they're prepared to lie, prepared to do whatever it takes to try and keep that lie of Christianity going, man. And that's why these people in this world are at severe disadvantage, because when we was just Israelites walking around the earth thinking that we're black, right? Thinking that we're Latinos, thinking that we're Native Americans, right? They had a particular belief system, a particular doctrine regarding everything. And then as soon as Yahweh poured the spirit out from heaven onto men to make them realize who they really are, and started bringing out the truth of the Bible, to let them know, the world know that that's our book, right? Then everyone started changing up the beliefs that they had and started mentioning things in the book that they never spoke about before. So we know that they're full of shit, because they would have spoke about it before if it really was worth mentioning to them. But they didn't speak about it before because they knew that it would cause too many questions to be asked, man. They tried to get rid of the name of Israel out of earth, and they also tried to get rid of the name of Esau out of the earth, man. But it didn't work. It flopped, man. And that's why when it goes down for you people, man, you're gonna do what you're gonna do to us, right? You're planning everything that you're gonna do to us as a nation, but at the end of it all, we're still gonna have a remnant, man. So anybody that you're gonna get, anybody that you're gonna harm, is either gonna be a member of the elect that you have wanted to have to go through that, or it's gonna be a 2/3 Israelite that Yahweh wanted to cast away anyway. Jeremiah chapter 33 and verse 24. Considerest thou not what these people have spoken, saying the two families, meaning the northern kingdom of the Israelites and the southern kingdom of the Israelites, which that's another thing that these people try and say, man. They're trying to say that in the New Testament, right, in the New Covenant, Hebrews the 8th chapter, where it says house of Israel, that's talking about the church. And then when it says house of Judah, that's also talking about the church. These people are liars, man. Here it is them, okay, you can say you don't believe we're the Israelites. You don't believe that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites, but you're going to lie about what the Bible's saying. Is that how much you don't believe in it? Is that how much you hate us? That you're going to lie about what the Bible actually says? Because you don't have to believe that we're the Israelites, but you still shouldn't be lying about what the Bible's talking about, though, dear. Should you be doing it? No, you shouldn't. Jeremiah chapter 33 and verse 34. Considerest thou not what these people have spoken, saying the two families which Yahweh have chosen, he have even cast them off? Dost thou have despised my people, that there should be no more nation before them? Because that's the only reason why they're saying that the Gentiles have got a chance. Because they're trying to say that God cast away the Israelites. But we clearly see that there's 144,000 and a great multitude which no man could number that are Israelites that he mentioned in the book of Revelation. So where's the casting off? We clearly see who's Paul. We clearly see Paul who said that they're not cast off. So what are these people talking about, man? They ain't nothing cast off round here. Verse 25. Thus saith Yahweh, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinance of the earth, is Yahweh's covenant still here with the day and the night? Yes, it is. It's the daytime right now, right? And over somewhere else, it's the nighttime. And if I have not appointed the ordinance of the heaven and the earth, has Yahweh appointed the ordinance of the heaven and the earth? Yes, he has. Then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. So what are these people talking about, man? Yahweh said he's going to forgive their sins and remember their iniquity no more. So what are these people talking about, man? What are they talking about? Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 11. In fact, verse 12. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Yahweh's going to forget that. He's going to forget all the sins and their iniquity. So where's the casting off? If he's going to forgive their sins and their iniquity, where's the casting away of that? If he was going to cast them away, that was going to mean he was going to remember the sins and the iniquity, not that he was going to forget it. Doesn't it say that he's going to wipe away the tears of the Israelites too? Yes, it does. In fact, let me find that quickly and I'm going to end the lesson, man. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 4. And God shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes, and there shall not be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And the only nation that's going to be free from death is the Israelites, because they're going to be given the new covenant. They're going to be free from sin. So therefore, they're going to be free from death, because the wages of sin is death. If a nation has no sin in it, it has no death in it, and therefore it has everlasting life, and shall not be ashamed nor confounded, and will be a world or a nation without end. Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.